So just when I thought that Big Bear might be done, this great news comes out and we can see that the rally may continue. Let's get into it. With the volatility that we've seen in the stock, we've seen 30% days, 50% days. It's quite a volatile stock. So you just got to watch out. There's a lot of these stocks, including the quantum computing AI stocks that we went over yesterday. So if you guys want to know how to invest in AI stocks most effectively, and you want to know how to trade AI tech, all these quantum computing and tech stocks, I would encourage you join our first access list. The first link in the description is free to join for our AI stock trading system. And if you want to join, it's totally free in that first link down below. It's launching tomorrow to our first access members. So I'd encourage you to go check it out. So as you guys saw with Big Bear AI, it pushed up to almost $4.60. We started covering this, just so you guys know, back here, really around $2 a share. And we've seen it break above these previous resistances and start using them as a support. And then it really started to sell off down here to $2.38 before in the past 3 days into this week, pushing back up to what was $3.85 a share. And then now it's back at $2.81. So when we look at the chart, it appears to be actually fairly healthy. Some people, including myself, were looking at this when it pushed up to $4.50, and we said, this looks like a pump and dump. This looks like what we've seen happen with this stock. If we look on the past 1 year, we've seen this happen where it's pushed up and it's sold all the way down. And we've seen it really start to recover just recently, which changes kind of the dynamic, right? When you start to see these healthy pullbacks, pushes up and then pulling back, this actually starts to look more like a feasible mid-term to long-term play. Now, can you get burned? Absolutely. We've seen that it's had these 20% increase days or 30% increase days, but guys, there was a 20-something percent swing today from 385 down to 280, which is a 27% swing. I mean, these are huge swings. It's down 10% on the day, which I guess isn't too crazy given the volatility. I mean, we've seen 30% days. But yeah, definitely it's highly volatile, high volume. One of the articles that came out today is that Big Bear AI awarded the GSA OASIS plus IDIQ contract for federal civilian defense agencies. So what this basically means is, imagine you get a deal with Upwork and now you're going to get shown to all of the different businesses that need to find contractors. Basically, this is like kind of like Upwork in a sense, but it's specifically for the government, and they've been awarded basically preference for them to get really great contracts. So if I run this terminology, GSA, OASIS, if you guys aren't very familiar with the terminology, I just ran it through ChatGPT. Essentially, if you guys are just joining us with Big Bear, you might not know what they do, but Big Bear AI, they, for example, create the systems at airports like Heathrow and Denver International Airport, among others, where you walk through and essentially you get your face scanned. And have you guys been to the airport recently? It's super easy. You just walk through because they have all of your data there and they're able to process that with their AI. So they do AI-driven analytics, data solutions. They have a partnership with Palantir. The extent to which, how deep that partnership goes, we're not totally sure. We know that it could be related to just the actual software in use with Big Bear AI and that they can overlap for different projects. However, this GSA OASIS, this is a government contracting program for acquiring professional services. So as I said, kind of like an Upwork type of deal. And this type of contract provides flexibility to the government by allowing an undefined quantity of services to be ordered over a set period of time. So essentially what that means is now Big Bear is like on demand. They're right there ready to service the government, and the government wants that to happen. And then this federal civilian and defense agencies, basically, it was just read it out. These include government bodies like the Department of Defense, the DoD, which we know, and civilian agencies such as the Department of Health and Human Services or the Department of Energy. So the contract indicates Big Bear AI will be working across a wide range of federal missions. So what this means is, yes, the revenue is not super favorable. Yes, the earnings haven't been extremely favorable. And a lot of people looking at this stock are buying what could be. There's no doubt about it. This looks less like a pump and dump now, and it looks more like maybe a consistent uptrend. Okay, I didn't buy into it. As you guys can see, I'm up 3% on my portfolio today. So I didn't buy into it. I actually got into Rocket Lab, made a trade, which I'm grateful. I mean, if you look at the widespread market, everything is down today. So, of course, the stock is down as well, about 10%. But what this means is not, so the technical is starting to look favorable. RSI MACD looks a little better for a buy. But on top of that, now we're getting this news that Big Bear AI now has a long-term agreement to offer their AI and analytical services to various government agencies supporting both civilian and defense sectors. This win positions the company as a key player in government AI and data solutions, potentially leading to significant revenue growth and more visibility in the federal tech ecosystem. The US government, in my eyes, will be one of the companies, guys, that spends the most amount of money on AI and tech. I mean, tell me what you guys think. Do you agree? I think the US is going to go all out to be able to optimize their AI and tech. So with that being said, now them getting this contract that positions themselves in that position could be absolutely huge for Big Bear. And just one more thing, if we look at this chart. When we were calling out the chart here, we said if they bounce here, this could potentially mean they're going to continue up. They did bounce, so they're establishing this trend. Then they sold off down here. What does this mean? Well, they're at a point now where they could potentially bounce and they could sell off down to what could be $2.50 before continuing up. We could see that. But what's most likely to happen is a little bit earlier of a turnaround. Now, we had some Fed rate cut announcements earlier this week, and the whole market sold off tremendously the past 2 days. So you have to take that into account. We could see it sell off, maybe even overcompensate down to $2.20. But if market restores some confidence here, what we're looking at most likely is this support line here, this previous resistance, some previous support right there, previous resistance, that level at around $2.79 is a key level that would really indicate bullish momentum. So this is where we could potentially see it bounce. If it doesn't happen there, the next most likely would be if we go down to this previous support, previous resistance. You can see back here consolidation, resistance, support. That would put it more like in that $2.50 range, possibly further down, most likely towards the green line, could be towards the orange line before it can establish its movements. But right now, it's right there at that level where it could potentially bounce. Now, if you're holding, this is a scary time to hold because it's buying right now is kind of like buying a falling knife. You're looking at it. If you're playing the short to near term, it's scary to buy right now. If you're playing the long term, this type of news is good. This, I want to say, non-pump and dump type of structure where you start to see it recover and kind of keep its trend is more encouraging, but it's still not, it's still indicating a market cycle. We want to see it make a higher high above that $4.50 range for us to truly say, yes, it's very much uptrending, but that could take some time. You know, we might see it sell off, we might see it push up here, and it could take some time for us to see those previous levels Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. If you guys want to watch me trade live every day, or more importantly, get access for free to our first access list for the AI stock trading system, click that first link down below. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.